Alright, so this video is going to be showing you how to factor when the leading coefficient is 1. So the leading coefficient in a quadratic is the number in front of x squared. So here we have x squared, and the number in front of that would be 1. Okay, so that would be factoring when the leading coefficient is 1. So what you're going to do is we're going to create an x here. And remember, this is a quadratic, so this is ax squared plus bx plus c. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply a and c and put that up here. And then b is going to go down here. So in this case, when you have a leading coefficient of 1, it's always going to be 1 times c, which would just be c. So in this case, it's 2. And then b is 3. So what you want to do is you want to think of two numbers that multiply to 2 and add to 3. So that would be 2 and 1. So what we do here is we could do grouping. So what you're going to do is you're going to rewrite the first term and the last term. And then that middle term, you're going to go ahead and split that up as plus 2x and 1x. Okay, now we're going to do factor by grouping. So we're going to group these two things together, and then we're going to group these two things together. So what do x squared and 2x have in common? X, so we're going to factor out the x. And then what do x and 2 have in common? Nothing, so we're going to have to factor out a 1 as a placeholder there. Now remember, if what's in the parentheses is the same, then you factor by grouping correctly. So we're going to go ahead and now factor out that x plus 2. So that's going to be x plus 2. And then what's left on this first term would be x, and what's left on the second term would be 1. So we went ahead and factored. And if you notice here, you have the 2 and the 1. Well, those are the same numbers that are here. So that's kind of a shortcut that I'll show you for the second example. So let's go ahead and work on the second example. So we have factor x squared plus 7x plus 12. So we're going to go ahead and create the x. Now remember, we're going to do a times c, which is 12, and then we're going to put b down there. And then you're going to think of two numbers that multiply out to 12 and add up to 7. So that's going to be 4 and 3. So now we're just going to go ahead and do the shortcut method. So the shortcut method is just you take your variable and then you add one of these. So let's just start off with 4 plus 4, and then you're going to do variable again and then plus 3. And that would be your shortcut. And you could only use the shortcut when your leading coefficient is a 1. So again, you cannot use the shortcut when your leading coefficient is not a 1.